If you weren't an F1 team boss, what would you be?
I'd be totally unemployable.
Christian Horner will be allowed to take on another job in Formula 1 in the spring. Which is almost. Everyone is dying to know where this cheeky chap will end up. Every once in a while another team pops up. Sometimes it's dismissed straight away, sometimes the rumours ignite again. This will continue until we get confirmation that Christian Horner, the Spice Boy himself, has found a team to work for and own a part of. The Horner saga continues, but which team will allow him to buy in? If you're new here, I'm a real person, not AI. I share my own views and this is what I look like and this is how I speak. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Horner was fired by Red Bull right after the British Grand Prix in 2025. The Red Bull leaders in Austria and Thailand decided it was time for Horner to go, as he was always a controversial figure and his ambitions to become a team owner clashed with their future plans. This was pretty tough on Horner, as he fought for Red Bull with everything he had for 20 years. My views on him keep changing all the time. First, he was my hero as he defended Max Verstappen through everything. Then he started to annoy me, as there was never a moment's peace, with Horner picking fights with all the other teams. Then the internal struggle started and I was straight up against him as he tried to get Helmut Marko out of his way. And that led to a bunch of scandals, which I won't repeat here again. Then things seemed to have calmed down. I noticed Verstappen still had his support, and I liked how Horner and the team worked hard to improve the 2025 Red Bull car, the RB21. Then, to my great surprise, he was fired and replaced by Laurent Mekies. This was pretty shocking. I never saw that coming. Then rumours came out that Verstappen wanted to improve the 2025 car, when Horner wanted to focus on 2026 already, and just drop all upgrade plans. Evil tongues like George Russell claimed that the Verstappens were very powerful in Red Bull and that they wanted him out. Max later dismissed this, and more importantly, Christian Horner dismissed it himself in Drive to Survive. Christian and Max send each other messages all the time and they remain friends, even if Jos doesn't like Horner. Max is pragmatic about that. Not everyone has to be friends, but that doesn't mean you can't work with them. So in September that year, Horner received a load of money and he was officially jobless. But he can almost start a new job, and that's what this video is about. During the winter of 2025, Horner had talks with almost every team on the grid. He spoke with Ferrari, but his wish to get equity in the oldest team was a problem, so that didn't happen. To this day, there are surveys to see if people think Horner would be a good fit for Ferrari. I doubt that Italian culture would go well with his British culture. But what do you think? There was talk that he contacted Haas to join the American team, but Ayo Komatsu confirmed that there had been a conversation that led to nothing. The Aston Martin switch seemed plausible, as that was a team that was building to become something great. Well, that's still the intention, but we know how it's going now. Andy Cowell was their team principal then, but he'd be sent back to the engine department if Horner got that gig. He didn't get that job. Lawrence Stroll said that the rumours weren't true and that Horner wasn't joining the Silverstone team in any capacity. Then Alpine seemed a likely candidate. The French team's advisor, which just means he's the boss, Flavio Briatore, and Horner have a deep friendship. Flavio Briatore and Christian Horner go way back. They were jokingly referred to the industry mafia by Toto Wolff. Bernie Ecclestone was also included in that group. It seemed likely that Horner and his group of investors would buy a large chunk of the French team. Otro Capital is looking to sell their 24% stake in Alpine. Lately, it has been said that Toto Wolff and Mercedes are interested in buying the 24% stake. Alpine have ditched their Renault engines and are using Mercedes engines now, which makes it unlikely that Horner would join Alpine. Horner and Wolff were arch enemies, even though they said they miss each other. So that leaves one team for Horner to join, and it's a team that is in shambles at the moment. Christian Horner said in Drive to Survive that he had unfinished business in F1, but he's not in a hurry. Well, Aston Martin is in a hurry to get out of the shit show they're in right now. All this investment to have a car that can't finish races due to a crazy amount of vibration? This apparently is caused by the Honda engine. Aston Martin blames Honda as they let all their engine staff go to Red Bull or into solar panel development. And Honda blamed Newey because he wanted everything changed as soon as he came out of gardening leave in 2025. Everything they had done to that point had to be different, and now they're running out of time, according to Honda. Now, I know Adrian Newey is a genius, and he created the best F1 cars ever, and many of them. However, he's also a bit of a crazy professor, like Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future. Their minds can come up with the most complicated things, but the simpler, more logical things are forgotten. Newey should have assessed whether his demands were feasible, and if not, implemented them gradually. Anyway, listen to me telling him what he should have done. The other day I thought I had left my phone somewhere because it wasn't in my pocket. As it turned out, it was because I was on the phone with someone. People thought it was suspicious that Adrian Newey wasn't present at the Chinese Grand Prix, and they put 2 and 2 together. Newey will be back to the drawing board and Horner will be team principal. Mike Crack set the record straight about this in an interview. He said that it was always clear that Adrian Newey wouldn't attend every race, and his watching the race from overseas had no effect on Aston Martin's poor weekend. In any case, I think that Christian Horner, with his pragmatic approach, would have prevented this mess, by communicating between parties to get solutions. Adrian Newey is poorly equipped for the role as manager. He needs to be at the drawing table, and the politics should be left to someone like Horner. I'd love to see Horner back on the grid, with a big share in the team he fights for. After a year of reflection from everyone, I think he deserves that opportunity, and I can't wait to see what he'll be able to achieve in a new environment. He's one of the people who gives colour to Formula 1, whether you like him or not. His pragmatic, no-nonsense approach did a lot for Red Bull over the years. It's a pity it ended that way. What do you think? Where do you think he'll end up? Leave it in the comments. I'll answer as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like for the algorithm, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. Take care now. Doei doei. Or into their solar panel, or into their solar panel development, or into their solar